We're rolling.
For those of who've known me for more than a couple of months, they know that I'm always trying to maybe generate a guffaw if I can get a laugh out of somebody.
Yeah,
One of them, one that
know
works.
that.
Yes, one of the ones that works for me is room. I'm a room salesman, and everybody gets a chuckle out of that. But I think to the point, it really does describe what we keep coming back to in this room. That this room is the teacher. We've mentioned that I think I've been in here for 3.5 decades or something,
Yeah.
and I've never been in a place like this that long. So the amount of time in
Most
here.
people haven't.
That's right. Right.
Well, it's a sandbox. I mean,
It is.
That's kind of how I think of it. It's a place to come and exploring and play. So the room kind of sells itself.
It kind of does, yeah. Well, I mean, I think the older you get, you realize that maybe there's no freedom in the universe. There's got to be something around it. The sandbox has edges. Well, this certainly has that going. You come in, and I'm really glad that this garage wasn't actually any bigger than it is. It's a nice size to cram everything in here. But you come in here, like you've done a couple times. You close the door. You go through the foyer. You know, check out maybe what's happening.
Look at the ceiling.
Look at the ceiling.
You can't not look at the ceiling. Yeah. So what's it been like for you to create the space that other people can come into and be a part of? I mean, you've got a lot of people in your life that love to come in here and experience this place with you and play with you, record things. So how's that been for you?
Well, a lot's happened in all those years from 1981. This room used to have a control booth in it, different permutations where I was having students in here a lot, or we had bands come in here and record, went through different kinds of gear. You and I worked on a report from a log, an album I made
long time ago.
I worked on that for 3 years in here. So it's changed. Probably the last bunch of years, not as many people coming in here, certainly not students. So each thing keeps shifting. The gongs appeared, they appeared a while back. I think they were started by my daughter bringing some stuff. I hung the stuff on the ceiling, and then pretty soon I'll hang this on the ceiling. And so that sort of took place that way. But yeah, just evolutions of stuff. The 2 drum sets for lessons there. Has been an interesting, you know, and it's changed quite a bit. It just keeps changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been an evolution. But the chance to be in a harbor, to be in a studio, one of the things I always talk to people of, what's your studio like? I mean, Thomas Wolfe wrote his books on the top of a refrigerator with a heater fan. He's a big tall guy, and he would write that. That was his studio. My wife's got a studio. We're going to go over and visit your studio sometimes. Studio, stay true until developments occur. What does that mean? That means you've got to go in your studio, close the door, whether that's a metaphor, real door or not, and stay in there for a while. And I think as somebody who's been a practicing artist, and I think you could speak to that for a while, that harbor, that safe space where you can practice some of your singular tasks, is just real important.
Yeah. No, sometimes I'll go into my studio, which is primarily a woodworking shop, but it has all kinds of stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't necessarily have anything in mind. If I'm not motivated to do something in the moment, I'll just start organizing it, cleaning it, or going through stuff that I've collected over the years until something occurs to me that is interesting. And then I'll start working on that, whatever that is. And that just sort of evolves. And I feel like a lot of that happens in here the same way for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can come in here and I can just experiment with things. I can pick up sticks, I can pick up brushes, I can, hit gongs, I can do all kinds of things and just wander around the room and pick stuff up, which is something we do frequently. This whole shelf of things behind us here has a myriad of possibilities.
Yep.
And everywhere you go in the room, it has possibilities. So being able to pull something down and play with it for a
Often
while,
for the first time.
often for the first
Right.
time, and then choose something that maybe you haven't played before, you haven't done anything
Exactly.
with before. And I know that you and I have had some experiences where I'll give you something to play,
Right.
and you'll give me something or two or three things, and say, okay, so these are the things that you have in your little sandbox next to my little sandbox, and we're going to do parallel play and see what we come up with.
Which will probably be another topic for a day about just picking something up. One thing with Coltrane, John Coltrane, when he got up, he kept his saxophone in the case right by his bed. So the first thing he did, he had to see it. A lot of times I think people hide things away. Everything's out in front of you here. If I'm sitting over there and I get an idea for a project, and maybe you could speak to that, the stuff's all around. I might start with that gong. So having the stuff available so that I can visualize it's really important. And I think another thing that we've done is we placed odd things next to each other, so that you can hit this or you can hit this, or and that's taken a while to understand, that the dimensionality that gets opened up by something that's not of the same instrument class, a gong
Right.
next to it, has been real important.
Or the found objects. When we've gone on some recon missions out to junkyards or other places and found things that we say, okay, so that was one of our finds, and it's become a standard.
It is. Yeah, and somebody asks what it is, and about 9 times out of 10, we can't quite. I think it came out of a restaurant, but I'm going to have to look that one up.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, these things that just showed up, of auto harp, a friend of ours that showed up, a can that got happening. Oftentimes pick something up. I once had a session with Steve Koski, and I wanted him to play. It was recorded. And I said, okay, you've just landed on the moon, and I'm giving you this instrument. Now play it. The opportunity to have to play something that you don't quite know what the sound is part of that unknown that we keep coming back to.
And getting to explore that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a bit amazed about how you have been able to sort of take something like that and within a very short time be able to play it and make it sound good, whatever it is. And I've tried to incorporate some of that as well, because that's just a fun thing to do.
It is.
And
Yeah.
and you have to be, I think, just willing to explore it, to play with it, whatever that is.
I mean, I'll hit my head on that. This the thing that I've sometimes demonstrated for people, if you see a good band play, you can sometimes tell whether they're going to be a good band because there's empty before they start, and they'll just start. You go see a symphony orchestra and they just start. It's that period right before it. It's so crucial, if there's any energy that's built up at that very starting point. So what you do is you kind of already are in it before you start playing it.
I see.
And I think that you can speak to that. When it's time to play, you're just, that first note is already almost, it's there. And if you get nervous in that opening period.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. That's true for me. It's that it's the silence right before you start that really sort of sets the stage for a lot of it, and it's like a wonderful anticipation too, because you have no idea what you're going to come up with, what's going to happen next. I mean, after the first note, then what's going to follow?
Right.
And so there's this wonderful sort of anticipatory moment right before you start any spontaneous composition that is kind of delicious.
Well, we keep coming back to proceeding into the unknown. So what space comes before that is a really important thing. If that's got some terror or fear or shame or any one of those vibrations before it, it's essentially got to be an empty spot. And I think after a while, you do this long enough, you start to feel that energy before you play. And that's one thing I try to do. If you're going to go around one of these instruments you've never played before, what else are you going to do? I don't know what this is I'm going to have to do it. It's not history drenched. It's not something I've done before. So what you're going to have to do right in that moment before the launch
Yeah.
This room has been very useful
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, and I think that's the feeling you get when you come into the room. Like back to the room salesman, you've set up this room in a way that gives that kind of permission with so much material to choose from.
Right, right.
That it's overwhelming at first, and after you're in it for a while, it's just inviting.
Right. So I guess for the people that might be looking at this, if there's any takeaways, what'll you see in this room that you can do? The colored lights we've talked about, that's inviting. Having a bunch of instruments in there, having a bunch of instruments in a basket that you don't really know how to play, that's not just your primary. Closing the door into a room in your house that is a sanctuary for you. I think that's a studio. The place that you can go to. So as we get further into this, a lot of this is about how we create, how as an artist, what you need, what are the tools, what are the spaces that you need to leave. So being a room salesman is trying to sell.
You've done a great job.
Hopefully we've sold you on something.
Yeah.
Go out and kick a tire or two.